When I in SSMC, I really grow more the word of God through prophecy and encourage people. I'm very glad the church is filled with spirit and the words come to me. I just only prophesy it and beautifully, and someone come to me and say, that word is for me. I am very glad, encourage me.
I think it was a point where I went from children's church to youth DG. That was the point where we actually got closer to each other, my friends and I, and yeah, that was also the point where I started getting closer with God.
This one's a good one. In 1996 or 97, I went for youth camp. At the time, I was just first year in college, and my walk with the Lord was very dry. You know, I just followed my parents to church because my parents, you had to obey our parents, so I followed them. So one night during one of the rallies at youth camp, I was touched by the Lord, and I started crying. And I remember the Lord telling me that I should take my walk seriously with Him. So on that day onwards in college, I decided to become serious, and all is thanks for the youth camp. So I started becoming more involved, first of all in the college CF. Then when I graduated, I was getting more involved in youth ministry. Then it led me to worship ministry, and until today, it led me to missions and taking care of my own adult DG.
I joined as a SSMC staff in year 2000, and as a family, we serve as missionary from 2002 right up to 2007.
One key experience for me is I was being discipled as a young Christian, and when I went overseas to study in Australia for a year, I had the opportunity to even serve and disciple someone else, even as a young 2-year-old Christian, and that was something that SSMC has taught me, is to disciple others.
I grew spiritually in SSMC. The teaching in the early years gave me a very good foundation in my faith. People like Dr. David Burfield and of course Boss Seng Tiong gave very good teaching.
Okay, I remember very clearly that was in the late 90s during Brother Joe Ozawa's session, praying at the end, and I really was touched by the Lord during that time. And it was very different from what I was used to. Until today, I remember very clearly because it left a very deep impression upon my life.
During year 2005, when I had my second slip discs, I was hospitalized. And just a week before, there was a pastor, I can't remember who was, he shared about how Jacob wrestled with the angel, and Jacob didn't want to let go, and the angel had to, took out a bone from his hip, injured us so that, we can become a better person. So I think that is more like a turning point for me during my life in SSMC.
What was most significant was the first mission trip to Myanmar. I think for the first time, I learned to practice my faith, go out in the field, and also to teach.
One of the experiences was last year's youth camp. It was quite nice, the altar call and everything. The pastor was quite okay. I quite enjoyed it.
Our wedding was in 2010. So when we joined our DG, John Lee's DG, when we shared with them about our wedding, John and his family and the whole DG, especially John, he was very enthusiastic. He could mobilize people. He said, come everyone, let's just go to Penang. And the whole DG just helped in that way. They just came to Penang, and we were relatively new, and yet their hospitality, their warmth, it really touched our hearts. The smiles in this church really helped us settle in very well.
SSMC is a miracle church.
Family.
Missions.
VBS is fun. Children church is fun.
Missions.
Jadilah terang untuk Malaysia.
Missional.
Missional.
Exciting.
Nice. Mission and also family and friends.
Life-changing.
Changing.
Servant's heart.
Teamwork.